How about the Toronto Tempo? Oh, you trying to see Caitlin Clark up there? Is that what you're trying to do? You're about to pay some real money to get that done. And I'm going to show you in a minute. Guys, we just started. You know what? This may be the honorary kickoff to the season right here. Because when I start doing videos about games being moved, we're off and going. We're full 2025 early.
The 2025 WNBA preseason hasn't even started yet, and the Caitlin Clark effect is already doing what it always does, moving games to bigger buildings and selling out arenas months in advance. 2 Indiana Fever home games against the Atlanta Dream, scheduled for June 20th and August 16th, have been relocated to State Farm Arena, where the Hawks play. The official explanation, predictably, is a scheduling conflict. That reasoning has become something of a running tradition at this point.
We're full 2025 early preseason action. That's where we're at now. Indiana Fever, our games against the Atlanta Dream on June 20th and August 16th have been moved to State Farm Arena. Number one, can we praise baby Jesus for a minute for not having to look at those stale-ass gray, that gray court? We don't have to see that, right? That's not at State Farm Arena. They're going to where the...
Year 3 of the scheduling conflict, and the pattern is identical. A game gets announced, Clark's name is attached, the venue suddenly can't accommodate demand, and everyone moves up the street to a larger building. The Dream franchise gets a cut of that boost, the arena gets filled, and the actual reason never quite gets stated out loud. The more striking number comes out of Toronto. The Indiana Fever and the Toronto Tempo are scheduled to meet in mid-August at Scotiabank Arena, and as of March 25th, months before tip-off, the game is nearly sold out.
That's not at State Farm Arena. They're going to where the Hawks play. My God, every time they go play in that dungeon, I want to hang myself and let somebody find me. Seriously, it drives me up a tree. Right here, June 20th, August 16th. Cha-ching! Everybody remember, we're moving games because of a scheduling conflict? Anybody remember that action? Anybody remember?
Upper bowl seats at face value are sitting at $150. Most lower bowl tickets are priced between $400 and $700. Around 18,000 tickets moved in a matter of hours. The Tempo doesn't even have a full roster assembled yet.
Anybody remember? Your boy did. My goodness, those scheduling conflicts. You mean scheduling conflicts called Caitlin Clark. Gotcha. Oh, but you can believe the Atlanta Dream, that franchise hearing it too. Scheduling conflict strikes again. Yeah, just say it. To channel The Empire Strikes Back.
That's not a team selling tickets. That's one player selling tickets. For further context, the Portland Fire's first ever matchup against the Fever has tickets starting around $214. The equivalent seat for an Aces game involving A'ja Wilson, the reigning MVP, is going for roughly $52.
To channel The Empire Strikes Back. I am your father. Caitlin Clark's your daddy. Would that be your mama? Caitlin Clark's your mama. Big Mama's in the house. That didn't take long. We're off and running. Of course, we all know arena's got to make room when the queen comes to town. Money. Yay, we don't have to see the ugly gray court. Thank God.
That's a gap of over $160 per ticket between the league's most decorated player and a player the mainstream narrative occasionally tries to diminish. The numbers don't support that narrative. What these figures do signal, beyond the obvious financial story, is a tension that's likely to resurface as the season builds. When attendance gaps this wide become visible and ticket prices this lopsided get publicized, it generates real frustration among players who have spent years building this league.
God, I wasn't the only one. Jesus, it's so depressing. The schedule conflict is back. So no ugly Greek court. That's great. That's great. But wait, I thought the fever don't move the needle. Yeah. Face that runs the place hoops officially back. Yeah, boy.
The on-court targeting Clark faced in previous seasons didn't come from nowhere. It came, at least in part, from the psychological weight of watching one player reshape the commercial landscape of the entire sport in real time. The bigger the Clark effect gets, the more that friction tends to heat up. League leadership has a responsibility to manage that dynamic carefully because the backlash, when it comes, tends to land on the floor. The unofficial start of the WNBA season has a new marker now.
Officially back. Yeah, boy. So it begins. I love it. I love it. We're here. Of course it was. Dream want that CC stimulus check. Oh, the check's in the mail. Yeah. Scheduling conflict. Year 3. It's good. It's good. We're not stopping there, folks. Shout out to my boy, CDS. CDS Sports Podcast. Go subscribe if you have not. He sent.
It's not the first preseason game or the first trade. It's the first venue move. That happened right on schedule. Caitlin Clark recently showed up on the sidelines of a Pacers game with a camera in hand, and the Indiana Fever's social team made sure nobody missed it.
CDS Sports Podcast. Go subscribe if you have not. He sent me this. Gave me the heads up. Greg Brady. Greg Brady? The Greg Brady? No, not. Here's a story of a man named Brady. Not that Greg Brady. No. The Indiana Fever Toronto Tempo WNBA game for mid-August at Scotiabank Arena is nearly sold out. In August, it is March 25th, folks.
The whole setup is genuinely funny. Clark standing there with the proper photographer's vest on, because apparently that's the rule if you want to shoot from the floor, while Tyrese Halliburton clocks her from the court with the most bewildered expression imaginable. The Pacers gave her full access, she came equipped, and the result was one of the more entertaining pieces of WNBA-adjacent content to come out in a while. What made it bigger than just a fun moment was the NBA itself picking it up. The official NBA account posted about Clark being on the sideline, which says a lot about where her profile sits right now.
Not going to do that. We have currently lost 8 subscribers in the last hour. We can get to 57,775. That's all we need to do. So, anyway, Caitlin Clark acting as a photographer. You've even got the NBA Brazil page. Please tell me the actual NBA page. Wait, who is associated with? NBA Brazil. Okay.
Even the NBA Brazil page amplified it. For a WNBA player to consistently pull attention from the main NBA account, not a team account, not a regional one, is genuinely significant. Meanwhile, the Lakers were dismantling whoever they were playing, with Luka Doncic dropping 21 points in the first 12 minutes of the game. Wild numbers.
Okay, sorry, yeah, they're associated with the NBA. That makes more sense. I didn't realize the NBA had changed their logo. I thought it was just an NBA logo. Or changed their Twitter picture. That being said, like, it is a very, very big thing. It is a very big thing seeing seeing Caitlin Clark and seeing, the NBA still pushing Caitlin Clark, which is really important. That is a really important thing. I was going to see the actual NBA.
But Clark was still generating her own separate conversation in the same building. Part of what makes this whole thing work is how the Indiana franchises operate relative to each other. The Pacers are arguably the best example in professional sports of an NBA and WNBA team functioning as genuine partners rather than one being treated as an afterthought of the other. Both teams sell out their arenas.
Actual NBA page. Can we see if the actual NBA page posted anything about it? Yes, they have. Caitlin Clark on the cam first up, Tyrese and Jade. Obviously, this is a Lakers-Pacers game, which I'm assuming that the Lakers are winning, considering how the Lakers have been doing. But even the NBA is posting, about Caitlin Clark being a photographer at a game, which is good to see.
When the Pacers were deep in the playoffs, the Fever were still packing Gainbridge. If the Fever ever win a championship, there's a real argument they become the more talked about team in the state. That's an unusual dynamic anywhere, but in Indiana, it feels earned.
Posting, about Caitlin Clark being a photographer at a game, which is good to see. And yes, the Lakers are up 22 points. And Luka Doncic has 21 points in 12 minutes. Fucking hell. That man is a joke. That man is a joke. I'm not going to lie. He's a joke. But Caitlin Clark obviously getting to see the player. She says she models her game on with is that a bag? Or is that something for photographers to sit on? Branded with Caitlin Clark.
The fact that Herb Simon owns both franchises helps, and so does the reality that players from both rosters actually show up to each other's games. Several Fever players stay in Indianapolis during the offseason, and some Pacers players do the same, which builds the kind of organic connection that can't really be manufactured. That cross-franchise relationship is miles ahead of what's happening elsewhere around the league.
Refers to sit on, branded with Caitlin Clark. Jewels, that's kind of cool. That is kind of cool. Caitlin Clark doing photography. When you've got Lake Show Yo posting about you. When you've got Lake Show Yo. What's next? Is LeBronchitis going to be posting? Oh, I'm not followed by Lake Show Yo, am I? There was just this weird thing where I can't remember. I was in a group chat with loads of these at one stage, and I got followed by loads, and I was like, oh yeah, all these weird NBA accounts.
The Mercury and Suns have had some overlap, but nothing that matches this level of visibility. The Mystics and Wizards operate under different ownership entirely. The Liberty and Nets share an owner in Joe Tsai, so there's potential there, though it hasn't translated into the same kind of consistent public linkage.
At one stage, I got followed by loads, and I was like, oh yeah, all these weird NBA accounts, which is why I'm still followed by Centel. That's one of my proudest Twitter things, is I am followed by Centel. But yeah, it's a very all-around interesting thing, and I think it's cool. I think it's just cool. It's cool in general, seeing Caitlin Clark be in this position. It's cool that the Pacers... I do feel like the Pacers are doing it well, because I said this from the start, is they are the one team, in my opinion, that...
And whatever goodwill existed between Stephen Curry and the Golden State Valkyries last season has largely evaporated. The reception to those appearances turned cold fast, and it's only gotten worse since. None of this specific energy around Indiana exists without Clark. That much is obvious.
Pacers are doing it well, because I said this from the start, is they are the one team, in my opinion, that treat their WNBA team as equals. As in, not even as equals, as in Indiana, it's the one where it's the WNBA and the NBA team both sell out arenas. When the Pacers were in the finals, the WNBA team were still selling out arenas. If the Fever go and win a title, the Fever will be Indiana's number one team. And the fact is, this year...
But it's also worth remembering that women's basketball in Indiana has deep roots. Tamika Catchings built a legacy with the Fever that still stands as the benchmark. Overtaking that legacy requires a title, and a title requires a front office that operates with real intention.
And the fact is, this year, considering how poor the Pacers have been while Halliburton's been injured, the Fever absolutely are probably Indiana's number one team. And it's one of those things as well where there is, more so than any other team, there is that kind of cross link where you're seeing the players actually show up to Fever games. You're seeing there be a link. And it does help as well that Herb Simon owns both the teams. I'm surprised there's not more maybe between the Liberty and stuff. But at the same time, quite a lot of Fever players stay in market.
There was a moment recently where the Fever posted something spotlighting one of their scouts, and the response from fans was essentially disbelief, genuinely surprised the organization had a scout at all, given how the roster has been assembled around existing front office relationships. The Pacers side of things is clearly doing its job. Whether the Fever's own operation is catching up remains the bigger question heading into the season.